And I'm super excited to have with us Dedric and Krystal Polite. And we're going to talk about, guys, setting up a 7-figure business just here locally in your own market with a pretty simple tactic, but it does take some consistency and some grit to get it done. I'm going to bring them on in a second. First, I want to share with you guys my screen. And let's see, I'm going to share with you my screen, and we're just going to jump through. Since we're about 10 minutes late right now, I am just going to jump through this real quick, just so you know who we are. We are REI Live Columbia in Columbia, South Carolina. We focus on the Midlands area of South Carolina throughout SC, including the Low Country and up the Greenville area as well. But we talk about things that work here locally and nationally. That's why we bring the heavy hitters like the Polites to help us out. Guys, normally we would talk about deals and share deals. We are virtual, so we're not going to do that. But you guys on Facebook, if you have a deal that you want to sell or something you're looking for or something you need to get out to the group, put it in the comments. I'd love for you guys to just share that and make something happen. All right, that's what we're here for. So use the comments. These are just some of our partnerships in our companies. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I want to get to the good stuff tonight. All right. While you're here, I want you to, if this is your first time, then pay attention. If this is not your first time, you've heard me say this before. We want you to know why you're here. Don't just come to this event, come to this virtual meetup and listen just for fun. We want you to put some of this information into action. Take what you learned here today and use it. So are you looking to flip a house? Do you want to buy a rental? Or do you want to start wholesaling? Know what you're here for and find out what we talk about today can help you tomorrow. So put it into action. These are just some of the things that you could be working for. What to expect, guys. This is just what we are, who we are at REI Live. When you contact us, when you send me a private message or you reach out on Facebook, this is what we're going to be talking about. It's education and instruction, how to get you guys started or growing in a real estate business, entrepreneurship or investing, however that looks for you. So we rely on experts from nationwide and locally. Today we've got a great group, the Polites of Be Polite Properties. They're not from far away, from just in North Carolina, but certainly have a national appeal and reach and bringing some cool tactics to us. So we do that with local folks too, and we talk about just about everything in real estate investing. Coming up, guys, REI Live 2021 will be here. We just don't know what it's going to look like with this COVID stuff. So we kind of have hesitated to put something on the books, but just know we will be meeting again monthly, hopefully made them more than monthly again. We can get back to those small meetings every 2 weeks. But right now, this is what we got. Today's virtual. We just don't know about November and December. So just keep it on your calendar. I have to mention our sponsors. I have to tell you guys, I have to put it out there that these folks are people we work with every day, sometimes more than once a day in our business and in our partners' businesses. So if you have a need, reach out to them. When you go to check this out on YouTube, if you look us up on the YouTube channel, you'll see all the links for these folks. You can also check them out on Facebook. What we'll do is put these links in the when this video goes live or the recording goes up, you will get those links in there. Okay. So reach out to them. They get discounts and they're also local and helpful here. These are some of our other programs and partnerships that we use in our business or again in our partners' businesses. These all offer discounts. Usually there's like a coupon code or something like that. So just keep that in mind if this is helpful for you. I do want to touch on, and let me just jump over to Facebook. Guys, remember, put your comments or questions in the Facebook group. I'm going to watch that as well. And so I'll try to jump back and forth. This is straight from our local market. and this is probably going around in other markets as well. These notes here are just what's happening. So I can tell you, if you're not busy in the space right now, if you're not investing, if you're not working as an agent or in real estate right now, you are missing a push. You're missing a big boom right now. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it's a good business to be in right now. If you look at it, new listings are up 18%. Sales have increased 32%, which makes inventory shrink 33%, guys. So listings aren't growing as fast as the sales. Inventory is shrinking. That means it's putting upward pressure. If you remember your economics class, upward pressure on price. Price has gone up 18.6%. This is year over year, guys. Days on market's down to 41 days on market. And actually, if it's a house between $150,000 to $200,000, that is only 38 days on market average. And if you think the banks are really busy right now, they're taking 30 to 35 days to close. That's fast. Things are flying off the shelf. All right. So just be aware of that. Of course, mortgage rates are record low. It's crazy. Just some graphs. I'm just going to jump through these real fast. As you can see days on market way low. Median prices going up, and market absorption rate down. It's actually like 1.5 months of inventory on the market right now. All right, so that's REI Live for Columbia. That's just some stuff for Columbia, some of the local market. What I want to do now is give our time to the Polites. I want to bring them on. I'm going to try to unshare my screen so that they can share. All right, here we are. So what we're going to do is have the Polites are going to give us a little presentation, but they've been so kind to save some room and some space in their schedule to do some Q&A. So Facebook, that's where we're going to do that. I want to hear from you. Remember, we are still doing the drawing for the iPad. If you come and comment and participate in 4 of the 6 months, you will be entered into the drawing for the iPad at the Christmas time meetup. So participate, ask some questions. They've been gracious enough to give us an hour. So it's 7 o'clock. We're going to cut it short. We're going to be done. And you guys, we will release the recording after that. So listen up, get your pens and paper out. We are so excited to have Dedric and Ms. Krystal Polite. Guys, I'll let you introduce yourself. You're in control. I have stopped sharing, so you can take over.
All right, Andrew. Well, thank you for having us. We really consider this an honor and a blessing to be on here with REI Live, Columbia, South Carolina. I'm Dedric Polite. This is my wife, Krystal. We are Be Polite Properties. We're coming to you guys live from our home in North Carolina. So we always joke about North Carolina versus South Carolina. I'm actually from South Carolina originally. I was born in Beaufort, a little small city down by the coast. She's from North Carolina originally. So of course, South Carolina is a better Carolina.
The real Carolina.
Now we know what is.
We always joke about that. Exactly. So, Andrew, I'll go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So we got about 20, 30 minutes of slides we're going to walk you guys through, and then we'll do about 15 minutes for the Q&A. So we're going to fly through the slides and then get to the Q&A. All right, so we should be good to go. Let me share my screen. That's it. It's still saying screen sharing is disabled.
Let me work on that.
Okay. Are you able to see the Facebook? So we got some familiar faces in the Facebook comments. What's going on? Charlotte in the house. All right. Okay, let's see. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. All right, can you see my screen? Okay, good to go. All right, Dedric and Krystal Polite. This is us. We are a husband and wife team. We are co-preneurs, couples in entrepreneurship. We do this business together, for better or worse. Just kidding, for better. You want to say anything as far as the introduction?
No, I think you summed it up.
Okay. Our first question we want to ask you guys is, Andrew had alluded to this earlier, is what is your primary objective, right? We want to make the best use of our time. So, are you primarily looking to fix and flip a property or multiple properties? If so, put a 1 in the comment box in Facebook or in Zoom. If you're looking to do buy and hold rentals, put a 2 in the box for a comment. If you're looking to wholesale, put a 3. Or if you're looking to do all of the above, put a number 4. So we really want to know who we're talking to, who our audience is, and what your primary objective is. So we'll look at those as those start to stream in. We'll talk about our core focus.
So what our core focus has been for the last maybe year or so is to build a high volume real estate business. And we are buy and hold investors. So wholesaling is a strategy that we use, one of to fuel our own portfolio. So for this year, we want to, what's our number?
We're looking to acquire another 50 properties.
Yep.
50 units. We have a multifamily 45 unit under contract right now and just got another 4 units. So we're
Yep.
on track for this year. So again, we wholesale to buy and hold rental properties in order to generate that passive income and financial freedom. So our story, guys, we started in January 2017 on this real estate investing journey. I actually bought my first investment property in 2007, but then I didn't do anything after that when the market crashed. I was too scared. I was sitting on the sidelines. But we found out about wholesaling and we wanted to get into wholesaling and flipping houses. So January 2017, we got started. It took us 20 months to close our first deal. We didn't close our first deal until August of 2018, right? Most people were like, wow. Most people would have given up at that point. But we didn't give up. We stuck with it. We invested a lot of time, a lot of money. This picture is actually us with a good friend of ours. You guys probably heard of Max Maxwell. He's out of the Carolinas as well. He's up in Winston-Salem. But this was at one of his meetups in 2018.
His first meetup.
Yeah, that was one of his first meetups. He's now a good friend of ours. But yeah, we closed our first deal August 2018. We closed our third deal that October, and our third deal was really the life changer. We made $105,000 on a virtual wholesale deal. Sitting in North Carolina, we closed a virtual wholesale deal in Boston, Massachusetts. Actually, they featured us in a book that just got released by Bigger Pockets on Best Deal Ever that talks about that deal. But that was life changing, right? Making $105,000 in one deal. I didn't make that in 1 year, let alone one deal. So it showed us that this business could really help us achieve financial freedom. We acquired 22 rental properties within the 12-month period of closing our first deal. So we went from 3 units to 22 within a 12-month period after closing our first deal. We both were able to quit our jobs in corporate America, which is one of our huge goals, as we both wanted to be full-time entrepreneurs and parents to our kids. So we were able to get that done. And now we're focused on building generational wealth. So not just for ourselves, but setting up our kids, the next generation, and also empowering other people in addition. So you want to talk about multiple streams of income?
So one of the core focuses is also multiple streams of income. We don't believe in putting all of our baskets in all eggs in one basket. So we have probably about 8 to 9 separate streams of income currently. A lot of them are centered around real estate. So we tell people and we teach people that even with you having 7 or 8 or 4 or 5 streams of income, they don't have to be 4 or 5 completely different businesses. They can be different streams within one business. But we definitely deep dive into making sure that people have multiple streams of income. One of our real estate streams is we have a wholesale entity, a flipping entity. We have a buy and hold, which is our rentals entity. We also have short-term rentals.
Hold on. That's like 4 entities already.
Right.
This woman, every week, she's setting up a new company. I think she's addicted to setting up new streams of income.
Not even. But, you know, when I see that it's something that's needed, not wanted, but needed, that's when I say, okay, listen, this is something we need to do. We have a property management company as well, a property preservation company, and then we have our education company. What you don't see on that slide is we also have about 2 other ones that our kids are part of, and they're businesses for them as well. So we believe in kidpreneurship just as well as our own entrepreneurship.
So let's talk about investing in yourself. Guys, the best investment you will ever make is investing in yourself. You know, we invest in ourselves. We've invested how much? Over $100,000.
Yeah.
Since 2017, we've put over $100,000 into our education. Right? No one can ever take that away from you. We both went to college. We didn't learn none of this real estate stuff in college. They didn't teach you how to make money or become financially independent. But we've literally learned by investing in ourselves. Now, we didn't spend $100,000 all at once. It was $1,000 here on a course, $5,000 here, $15,000 in the mastermind, right? But that investment has paid off, you know, multiple times over. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself. And one of the cheat codes is actually joining a mastermind group. For those who aren't familiar, a mastermind group is basically a high-level group of individuals who have lofty goals, and they're all high level, right? And everybody brings something to the table, right? So Andrew may be an expert at rental properties, right? Crystal's an expert at flipping houses, and I'm an expert at wholesaling. When we all come together, we can cross-pollinate ideas. So I encourage everyone I know who's successful at a high level in this business, they either were a part of a mastermind group formerly or they're in one now. So that's one of the secrets is finding and joining a mastermind group. You want to say anything about that?
Absolutely. So the very first mastermind we joined definitely was life-changing for us because we hadn't done a deal yet. Literally, we had not done one real estate deal. Now we were trying.
We were trying and struggling.
We were trying. But we literally would be so close to this, something would happen. So then when we joined this mastermind group, it gave us that accountability that we needed within this industry. And, you know, with us meeting, what was it, every quarter?
Yeah, once a quarter.
Once a quarter we would meet. And I was like, listen, after like the first or second one, I was like, look, we are not going to keep coming back, being the only ones still with no deals.
We were flying out of state to these meetings, these mastermind meetings.
For an entire week.
And how much did this mastermind cost? $16,000 to join. So remind you, we had not closed one deal and we invested $16,000. Now, did we have $16,000 sitting in the bank when we invested that? No, we actually put it on credit. We used business credit. Again, we jumped out on a limb. We invested in ourselves. So that's another tip we want to give you guys is use business credit to grow. Right? Try not to use your personal credit. Now, if you have to, you may have to do that to pay for some marketing and get things going. But use your business credit. Get an LLC, get an entity, right? We're not tax advisors or accountants, but get a business entity set up, get some business credit and use that business credit to help you grow your business. That's one of the secrets that we've been able to do to leverage and to grow very rapidly. Now let's talk about what you guys all came here for, which is wholesaling and marketing, right? So let's talk about wholesaling first, right? Wholesale, everybody and their grandmother wants to wholesale houses now.
Right.
Like I'm at the grocery store and the lady bagging my groceries like, you ever heard of wholesaling? Yeah, I got a house I'm selling. I'm like, what, you wholesale too? So like literally it's like the sexy thing to do now. But I mean, wholesaling is 99% marketing. You're not in the real estate business when you're a wholesaler. You are in the marketing business. So if you really want to wholesale, you have to learn marketing. So that's what we went out and did early on in our career. We became experts at marketing. And how did we become experts? We became experts at hiring experts.
Absolutely.
So we didn't know anything. We were like, okay, who's the best teacher teaching cold calling to find motivated sellers?
Yep.
We found that person to achieve, we paid for their expertise to teach us their secrets so we can what? Shorten our learning curve. So again, that's what you want to do. You want to hire those experts. So this visual is just showing what we call our lead conveyor belt. So with marketing, everybody's going to try to sell you the latest, greatest thing. Oh, you can do ringless voicemail, you can do text, cold call. All this stuff works. It all works. If you do it, you do it consistently and you do it in high numbers, in volume, right? There's no one silver bullet. It's really what they say, consistency, bro.
Absolutely.
That's the secret. So when people come to us like, oh, I tried to ring this voicemail and it didn't work. Okay, how many rings voicemails were you leaving? Oh, I left like 100 a week. 100, that's it? You got to leave like 5,000 voicemails a week to get any results.
And you also got to remember that with marketing, everyone has their own way of responding to people. So their preferred method. So you have to remember, not everyone, if, for example, a 70-year-old man may not respond to a text, but do we know what he will respond to? Direct mail or a phone call. So you have to remember, marketing is not just about, hey, let me get all the latest software and let me just use it all. No, it starts with you really
hone in on one market.
Hone in on one, but also have to hone in on and learn your backyard or whatever market that you are actually marketing to. You have to really deep dive and learn that market. Meaning learn all the demographics in that market, who lives there, ethnicity, age, income level, marital status,
renters versus owners.
Absolutely. All of that really plays a factor in your marketing. And it's something that so many people overlook in the beginning, so that you're really just, trying to take a stab at the dark. Like, oh, okay, I'm just going to send out direct mail. Well, don't you think it would work a little bit better if you knew, like, hey, listen, 70% of this area that I'm marketing to is between 60 and 80. 30% maybe between, 30 and 45. So that's how I run our marketing for our different areas, and we're multiple markets, is based on the demographics.
Yes, and she's amazing at marketing. I call her the marketing ninja. Literally, like, I'm inundated with leads. So she handles the marketing, I handle the acquisitions and the sales part. We're actually looking for another acquisition manager, right, because she's generating so many leads. But again, this is our conveyor belt. We start with the cheapest form of marketing,
which is always going to be text messaging or cold calling, depending on if you're doing a cold calling or if you're hiring someone. So always start with your cheapest form of marketing first, which is going to be text, and it's going to be cold calling.
Yep.
Then we hit ringless voicemail, and then we finish off with direct mail. And just to give you an example of the reason why all of these work great together. So we finally got a really great ringless text messaging company. And we had probably about 30 lists that had been in our ringless voicemail that we had done ringless voicemail, cold calling, and direct mail on, but never did text messaging because it was the one marketing method. I did not find a company that I liked. Now I've tried about 3 or 4, but I didn't like any of them. So we finally found one that I liked, and I hit all of these lists. Some of these lists have been sitting with us. Matter of fact, even taking it back to our very first list in 2017. So we've had lists from 2017 all the way till now that we hit with text messaging. And I have not pulled another list in probably, when did we start using the text messaging company?
Like Q1, March,
yep,
April.
Around Q1. And I haven't used another list.
A new list
at all. And all these leads are leads that we've used that we've been hitting with ringless voicemail, which is I do it probably about 7 or 8 times, cold call twice,
we spent a lot of money
direct mail
trying to hit these people. Now they're responding to text, which costs virtually nothing. So we're like, great, as long as you respond, we want to buy your house. Piece. Let's talk. A lot of people know us for, which is driving for dollars. We've out of our first, 50 deals, probably 80% of them came from either us driving for dollars or our deal finders driving for dollars. So driving for dollars, should you be doing it? Abso-freaking-lutely. If you're not doing driving for dollars, you're crazy. We drive for dollars everywhere.
Yes.
We can't help it. Like, it gets addictive. Like, when you know that if you're driving to Walmart and you see a vacant property and you drive past it and you don't put it in a deal machine, that's $10,000 right there. I look at every house as a $10,000 wholesale fee that I'm missing if I pass a vacant or rundown property and don't deal machine that house. So you should absolutely, the reason you should be driving for dollars is you get to learn your neighborhood, you learn your city, right? Go down a random street that you typically don't drive down, right? When you're driving home, go a different way. And if you notice a house that looks disheveled, it looks distressed, pull over and put that property into your driving for dollars list. So what do you look for? You're going to look for zip codes, hot areas of town. Right now, everywhere is hot because inventory is so low. Those areas that are getting gentrified, up and coming areas, signs of physical distress. So, if the house just looks like it's not being taken care of, right? You can tell a homeowner that takes pride of ownership versus a renter house, right? Just by how the yard is, the bushes, the windows, the drapes, all that stuff.
Yep.
Peeling paint, landscaping, all that stuff is important when you're driving for dollars. These are the top 3 apps we use. Landline, you're able to pull parcel data. You can see the actual dimensions of the lot. It's like what, $10 a month, but we use Landglide every single day when we're out driving for dollars.
Absolutely. It definitely goes hand in hand with Deal Machine for us because we also acquire a lot of land. And if you have Deal Machine, then their land doesn't really pull up. Land information parcels don't pull up on Deal Machine, but they do on Landglide. So and in our course, I show people how I hacked the app, and I was able to add land to Deal Machine. So that's how we were able to acquire almost all of the land actually that we have was through Deal Machine, which the app is not set up to pull parcels as of yet. Yes.
So, and guys, land is hot right now. As
Absolutely.
Andrew was saying, inventory is so low and builders are building like crazy. If you can get a vacant lot in a good area for wholesale price, that will move as quick, if not quicker than a house.
So I'll give you guys a little tip, a pro tip that we've done that worked very well for us with land. So I would pull a very filtered land list in an area for which we wanted to buy.
What's filtered?
Very filtered, just it would be narrowed down to like a very specific area. So it wouldn't be, it really, what would you say? Not really broad.
Absentee.
Yep, absentee, owned for probably
40 years.
40 years or something.
No mortgage. You was kind of stack that list to get a very small targeted list.
And it would probably come up to less than 100. And then I would mail them out an offer letter, a letter, what is it, an offer, a letter of intent that we would mail out to them. And the price would probably all be the same. Typically maybe $5,000 to $10,000, depending on what area it is. So the ones that I did in Charlotte was not 5,000, but in another more, or not so heavily dense property area, it would be a lot less. So who doesn't? A lot of these people don't even remember that they own this land. It's all grown up.
Forgotten.
Totally forgot about it. And they're like, oh, wow, you want to give me $10,000 for this land that I completely forgot about? And they're like, oh, shoot. Okay, well, and then they're thinking you're the fool. Like, oh, if you're going to give it to me, I'll take it. So that's just another tip for you guys, for anyone looking for land.
So guys, here's a few case studies of deals that we found driving for dollars. This one is in our backyard of Burlington, North Carolina. We got this property under contract for $40,000. This is traditional bread and butter brick ranch that you guys all have in your backyard as well in Columbia. The ARV was 130, so we got needed about $35,000. to sell for 130, and we sold it to a cash buyer for 58K. We made an $18,000 wholesale fee on. Probably cost us about $12 in post through Deal Machine to get that 18,000 profit. This other one was pretty much a virtual wholesale deal. We got this on contract in Charlotte. Mind you, we don't live in Charlotte. Charlotte's 2 hours away. One of our deal finders was driving around Charlotte, crawling the streets. He found this property, right? Before it's on the bottom, after it's on the top. That we sent this lady 2 or 3 postcards. She called us back. We got in the contract for $70,000. Now I did drive down to Charlotte to lock this up, right? When I get a lead in Charlotte, I will drive down there.
Absolutely.
We locked it up at 70K. Needed about 40K in rehab. The ARV we thought was 150. It turns out our cash buyer ended up selling it for 189. But we still we sold it. We had a contract for 70. We sold it for 98. So we still made 28K on the wholesale fee as well. So guys, those are just a few of many examples of deals that we've gotten from driving for dollars. And you can do the same thing.
Was that owner occupied?
Yeah, she was moving though. So quickly, let's talk about the old way, right? The old way, before you use an app like Deal Machine, is you would snap a photo, right? Write down the address. You put it on a piece of paper like this. You put it in a spreadsheet maybe, and you say, okay, when I get home, I'm gonna actually go and look this up in the county records. What happens? You never get around to looking it up in the county records. It just falls by the right. What happens? The next time you're driving through that neighborhood, you see that someone like Andrew has come in and bought it and rehabbed it and flipped it.
Right.
And you're like, man, how did Andrew get another deal? Hey, he's on it. He followed up, right? He's using Deal Machine. So guys, that's why it's so important to have a system, right? Deal Machine helps speed up and scale your driving for dollars process. So how do you scale, right? So us two, out of what we have, like maybe 5,000 deals in Deal Machine.
Yes.
We maybe put in 500 of those properties in Deal Machine, but we have a team of deal finders, not just locally in our backyard in Burlington and Charlotte. We have deal finders all over the country. And that's how you really expand and scale. We have people in California sending us deals,
yes.
Ohio, Boston, all over the place. So start with family, right? Start with your friends, anyone looking to make some extra money. Hey, listen, if you see a property, it looks distressed, it looks all beat up, don't text it to me. Snap a picture with my app, send it to me. And when I close on it, I'll give you 10% of whatever I make off the deal, right? That's how we typically would recruit people. You can recruit college campuses, Uber drivers, people out there driving. As far as payment structures, what we did is we did $1 to $2 per approved lead.
Right.
So if someone sent us a lead and we approved it, meaning yes, we will start marketing to them. We pay them $1 to $2, and that would keep that person going to cover gas money. So we have people making $50 and $100 a week just off the leads they would send us in Deal Machine, and then again they would get 10% on the back end to incentivize them to send us more deals. How do you keep track? We have highlight. You can highlight your streets. You can get a big map and kind of keep track it. But they do have the route tracking feature in Deal Machine now. And what's the metric? So typically in the Carolinas, we've seen if you send 200 to 300 distressed property owners a postcard for at least 6 months, that's going to equal about 1 or 2 deals, right? And if you want to multiply it, you just send more. So the more postcards you send, of course, the more callbacks you're going to get, the more deals you're going to close.
But you definitely want to make sure that you start with properties in distress. If you're just starting out, don't do owner occupied right away. To get the most bang out of your buck, you want to start with distressed properties and not always absentee owners. Look for the tenant rentals, vacant,
tax foreclosure, tax liens,
fire damage,
probate.
Absolutely.
Those are the type of properties you want to look for.
But show some type of distress. So don't just go for don't do right away owner occupied, things of that nature, because a lot of times that'll eat your budget up really quickly and you won't see as many callbacks right away. When I first started with Deal Machine, we got our first phone call started coming in at 100 properties Deal Machine at the time. But that's only because I had a very strict criteria starting out with what was to be entered into Deal Machine. And that's what got our phone to ringing. And as our budget grew, our criteria grew.
Remind you, we started out with a budget of what, $200 a month?
Yep.
That we had to spend on postcards.
And that included the app as well.
Yep. So you can definitely start. So this is just a few screenshots of the app for those who haven't used it. You can pull it up on your smartphone, right? You find a property you want to put into the system, you tap on it, you can add that owner to the system. It's going to show you information such as, who lives there, when they bought the property. And then you get to the good part where you can snap a photo, right? The picture of someone's house on a postcard, asking if they're interested in selling. A lot of times that's the reason they'll call. They'll be like,
Yep.
What do they say when they call? Hey, were you in front of my house? How'd you get this picture? And that kind of starts the conversation. Well, yeah, I was driving in the neighborhood. We buy a lot of houses in that area. Just curious if you wanted to sell.
Now, not all of them are going to be happy you was in front of their house.
Yeah, not all of them, but it's a numbers game.
Right. And also remember, so I did in the beginning, which I still do actually, I do still a lot of virtual driving for dollars. So you don't actually have to be in front of these homes. A lot of times I'll pick a neighborhood, especially if I know, so like for Boston, all of the leads that we got in Boston and all the deals we got, I was not physically in Boston. We just have lived there our whole life.
Oh, and you did that from here, North Carolina?
We've lived there our whole life. So we know massive. So I know what areas to target. And that's literally all I did is I put up property in Deal Machine, an address, and then I started pinging all the houses that fit our criteria.
On that street.
On that street, in that neighborhood, in that county, and I just started going out further and further. And then I went to, at the time, I was going to Google Maps, taking a snapshot of the photo. Well, after I told Josh and Dave and them over at Deal Machine, like, hey, this is what I'm having to do. I need you guys to fix this app so I'm able to automatically get this picture. And that's what they did.
They added a new feature.
They added the street pick feature. So now it'll pull the Google image for you. And I tell people that is so powerful if you have this app, because literally that's what I do if I'm home, if it's raining out.
Yeah, you don't have to leave your house.
If I'm bored or what. So like me and him, I'll go to an appointment. And if we go to one, say in Raleigh, and he goes in to look in the house, I'll sit in the car and I'll literally just start pinging.
She'll start Deal Machine in the whole neighborhood.
The entire neighborhood.
I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, we're sending out this marketing.
Never leaving the car, never driving all around the neighborhood. But all I do is I will literally get, I think we did it last week. We went to a house in Durham that we contracted. And I was able to enter in the, 30 minutes you were in there. Mm-hmm. I entered probably about 60 properties from just that area, never driving anywhere, but just sitting in the car.
60 leads in 30 minutes, right? 60 potential deals.
Exactly.
So guys, this is just, how your postcards are gonna look. You can send custom postcards to these sellers. The beautiful thing about it as well, guys, is not all about direct mail. You can also skip trace. Now, it used to be $1 per skip trace, which is a little cost prohibitive. Now Deal Machine only charges 17 cents. So now my MO is I'll see a vacant property, I'll pull over, I'll Deal Machine, and I'll snap the picture. I'm already sent out a postcard. I'll hit start mailers to get those postcards going out once every 30 days for the next 12 months. Then I'll skip trace it, 17 cents, and I'll call them on the spot while I'm sitting in front of that house.
Yep.
If they don't pick up, I'll text them. You can text them right from the app. So literally you have 3 forms of marketing going out at one time within 60 seconds. So that's the power of using Deal Machine.
And remember, even with using Deal Machine now, a lot of the times when we're there, well, now it does, you can actually enter your criteria in Deal Machine. So while I'm driving, I don't really play with the filters too much, depending on what area I'm in. But don't forget, with Deal Machine now, you can literally pick your criteria of properties in the neighborhoods that you want, and they'll come up.
Yep. So guys, they make it super easy to grow your team of deal finders. It's another term for bird dogs. All you got to do is send someone a link, text them a link, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to create some elaborate training program to train your deal finders. It's all done for you. The recruitment and training is done for you. There's different mail fantastic cards. You can send handwritten font, ballpoint letters, which looks like they're handwritten. So all different mailers, and you can put people on campaigns. So you can actually send a different postcard each time you send a mailer versus the same postcard, which is pretty cool. So, if you don't have Deal Machine, if you want to download the app, try out a free trial, you can go to getdealmachine.com. That's getdealmachine.com. Try it out. I think it's what they get their first 30 postcards for free to try out the app. So guys, that's the end of our presentation. If you want to follow us, you can follow us on all things Be Polite, Instagram Be Polite Properties, YouTube /Be Polite, Facebook Be Polite Properties. And if you want to email us, if you have any questions or need help, it's info@politeproperties.com. We are here to help. And also, we do have a Driving for Dollars course. If anyone's interested in that, we are doing a promotion specifically for REI Live Columbia. So email us and we'll send you the promo code for that. Now it's time for the Q&A. How we do on time?
You did awesome on time. I forgot where to unmute. So, guys, that was phenomenal. Dedric and Krystal, I was taking notes too. I know our listeners are taking notes. This was some great information. I appreciate it, guys. There were a couple of questions that came through while you were talking, so I'm going to jump on those. One you answered right away, which is you can enter criteria that you need in Deal Machine, and I know they have instructional video for that. So I think the best thing is for people to just download it, and then you'll see that. But it's pretty simple to do. But you answered that question right away.
You can pull a list. You can literally,
And let me go back up. There was another question. What would be a fair marketing budget for a newbie wholesaler just getting started?
$200
$200 a month, I would say.
If you can get up $200 a month, and that's $50 or for the actual app itself. Isn't it still $50 for individual investor to start out? So include that in it so you know exactly how much you're spending on your postcards afterwards, but $200 gets it done.
Yeah, I think that's a great starting point. And guys, if you can't find $200, you're gonna have to budget hard or go sell something, right?
Or bandit signs. Start out with some bandit signs. Those will cost you $10 to make a few of those and put them up around town.
Or cold call yourself.
Call yourself?
No, cold call yourself. Don't hire anyone, but you start out doing your own cold calling.
Hey, do you want to sell stuff?
That's how we started.
With cold calling, if you download the app, you're in $50. You skip trace, that's 17 cents each. Guys, that can be done. You're just paying for gas. And do it on your route to work. That's just what I used to do is when I was working, is I would just, like you said, go a different route. When you come home, when you go to work, when you pick the kids up, just try a different road. And when you're going down it, getting those houses that look like they need some love.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what we do.
And let's see. Oh, how big was that list? You went back and started texting. So it was about 2 years worth of list. How big was that?
Yeah, it's thousands on.
That's our broad list. So
so it's all a ton of different lists.
Yeah.
So that we combined. We didn't combine them, actually. We kept them separate, but list by list by list, they were hit with text messaging.
And guys, this is after spending a lot of money hitting them with direct mail and cold call and ringless voicemail, and no response.
No, so all these people have gotten all of these marketing methods except for text messaging, because this was their preferred method. And one of the things you guys have to remember is, and I tell my husband this, and then I tell our lead specialists and our BAs who are calling, if you start out texting them, keep it on text until they are comfortable with taking it to the phones or emails, because if you push too soon, you can lose that deal. And it has access how we know.
Some people don't want to talk to you. Hey, listen, we closed the deal all through email. Literally, like email. The lady was in Colorado. She had a house in Mebane, North Carolina. It was like 80 emails back and forth. We closed the deal and wholesaled it for $13,000. Never talked to her on the phone to this day.
Absolutely. That is a great tip. some of the easier deals end up that way. They start in text and they end in text.
Yeah.
Just because it's efficient, and that's how we work in today's life, right? Let's get it done. So that's a great tip. Keep it where it is. If they called you, you call them. If they text you, you text them. So
Yeah.
great tip. I have a question about, do I need to have buyers before I start driving for dollars?
No.
No.
If you have a deal, you'll get the buyer. You'll find the buyer.
Yeah. There's no shortage of cash buyers.
Right.
They are crawling out of the sewers right
Yeah.
now because the market's so hot. There's no shortage.
There
There's a shortage of deals. So
Yeah.
again, you find a deal, you'll be able to find the buyers.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. If you got a deal, you put it out, you're going to have a buyer.
Put it on Craigslist. I mean, what's those stuff?
Put it in
Craigslist,
these
Facebook.
private Facebook groups.
Put it in our REI Live. Put it on your
There
own
you go.
Facebook. Come to, and we always talk about partnering with people. If you're new and you're just kind of scared of what it's going to look like on the other end, partner with somebody, an experienced wholesaler, experienced flipper, somebody that will walk you through that process, and maybe even buy the deal, but at least get you through it. Because I know that's a mental barrier that people put up. They're like, oh my God, what if I get a deal, then what? It's, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
So at that point, if that's your hang up, partner with somebody, and you could get it done. It's not that hard. Like you said, the deal will get sold. Some of it's
when we got started, we were super nervous to do our first deal, and now our motto is 100 or 50% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape. So we do a ton of JV partnerships and working deals with other investors. So that's the way to go.
Exactly. Yeah, and I know when you guys get deals down here and south of the border, you're going to call me, and I get them north of the border.
Y'all get anything in North Carolina? I don't care where it is, North Carolina. Call us. We'll help you get it done.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. We work the whole state here. It's we call it the whole state, but I mean, if I had a deal in North Carolina, I would still get it done, but it would be partnering with someone up in North Carolina, somewhere close. So that's what I say, guys. If you got a deal, it will get done. Just focus on that marketing, talking to sellers. I did want to, we're about out of time, so we'll save it for another time. I wanted to ask you more about that 105K deal. But I think you said, was that virtual driving for dollars?
Yep. It was virtual driving for dollars. I had actually pulled a really super filtered list. 67 names, and I uploaded them into Deal Machine and pulled all the pictures from Google Maps and sent off the postcards. And we got probably about 3 deals, 7 leads out of that.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah.
So that was not an expensive list.
And the list was free.
Well, even better, but it was super niche.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So guys, if you are on a limited budget, the best thing to do is really to focus your marketing. Like you said, is don't send mail to all those occupied houses. Focus down and just get the vacant. Even more, whatever that list was, that was 67 names. I mean, that's really small, but it was a high value list, most likely vacant, most likely in distress, some kind of.
Nope, I'll give you the filters. It was out of state absentee owners, not in state, out of state absentee owners purchased prior to 1985. What else? Oh, no mortgage, but in a specific area, because this was a Boston list, so it was just Suffolk County.
Yeah, it's a free and clear.
Free and clear. The reason I did that is because I tell people, when you're in markets like Boston, New York, California, things of that nature, Charlotte, if the owners live in these areas, they know what's happening. Yeah. So they are going to know what the value of their property is worth, even if it's beat up and run down. But if they're out of state and haven't been to this state, then chances are they don't know all of the development that's going on. So that was the case with all the people who called us back off this list. They all lived out of state. So they had no idea what was going on in Boston. They just had these homes either passed down to them or something along those lines, and was like, oh, I just want to get rid of it.
Yeah, perfect.
And that was it.
There you go, guys. So if you're a newbie and you're starting with a small budget, there's your filters. There's no reason not to get started with that today.
Right.
And you can use the Deal Machine app to get all the info from it, or you can use another list provider to do something like that.
Yep.
So, Dedric, I think you guys, if you don't mind, what was your email? What's the best way for people to reach out to you? Instagram, email? I'm going to put it in the comments.
Yeah, I can put it in the chat. It's info@Polite Properties. Let me just type it in here. politeproperties.com. Or they can also message us on Facebook or Instagram, Messenger.
Okay, awesome.
But I just put it in the chat.
So I want to thank you guys again. You gave great information. Some of the things, REI Live group, I want you to know that the Polites, they started off telling you that you need to shorten your learning curve. YouTube University's out there, but it's about networking, getting with people that are doing this business to get you to that next level quicker. They did a mastermind. We have private coaching as well. We've done masterminds. Last week we were at a mastermind in Birmingham. So that is what is going to help you leapfrog. But if you don't have the money right now, we all get that. But that's not an excuse not to do something. So if you've got a way to get that business credit, I've heard a lot about the business credit. I think it's incredible what people are able to do with that. But if you're able to get started and get in the network with people that are doing this business, get in a mastermind, get in a group of high value, high experience individuals that can help you leapfrog all this new stuff. If you can't do that, get in your car and go driving for dollars, baby.
There you go.
So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to cut it off at 7:02. So we're perfect on time. I know you got 2 little kids to run to, and I've got 3 that I hear them. So they're ready.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank y'all so much. REI Live. We'll see you soon.